Once in a kingdom of crystal spires and silent hearts, there lived a girl woven from moonlight and memory. Her name was Ilara, and she was a vessel. She did not know this at first. She knew only the cool marble of the palace floors, the weight of a sapphire diadem on her brow, and the distant, approving nods of the king and queen. They called her their little light, their most precious gem. They dressed her in silvers and blues that matched the kingdom's banners and paraded her before the people on high holidays. The crowds would sigh, "How beautiful she is, how she glows." And she did glow. It was her peculiar magic. When she stood on the western balcony at dusk, a soft, silvery luminescence would emanate from her skin, lighting up the palace walls. It was this light the rulers cherished. For you see, the kingdom of Lumen had been cursed with a perpetual gray twilight. No true sun, no true moon, only a weary gloom. Ilara's borrowed light was the only thing that kept the kingdom from dissolving into utter darkness and despair. She was not loved. She was used. Her glow was not endless. It was drawn from her own essence, her joys, her quiet hopes. Every time she illuminated the grand hall for a feast, she felt a memory fade. The scent of a wildflower she'd once held, the melody of a lullaby half remembered. The rulers did not ask if she was tired. They only scheduled more appearances. "The people need your light, Ilara," the queen would say, her smile not touching her eyes. "Without you, we are nothing." Ilara's chambers were lavish but empty. Her tutors taught her history and protocol, but not how to laugh. The courtiers bowed, but their eyes were on her glow, not her face. She was a beautiful, silent lantern, slowly burning down. The change began with a crack, not in the palace walls, but in her heart. On the eve of the grandest festival, the glimmering gala, she was instructed to stand atop the highest tower from dusk till midnight, shining her brightest to signal the start of the celebration. As she climbed the cold spiral stairs, she passed a forgotten alcove. There, a small, grimy window looked not over the kingdom, but into a wild, overgrown courtyard below. In that tangled garden, abandoned by the court, she saw a single, stubborn moonflower blooming in the gloom. It was a pale, fragile thing, struggling without true starlight. No one used it. No one even knew it was there. It simply was. A profound exhaustion washed over her, deeper than any fatigue. It was the weariness of a tool that knows its purpose is to be spent. That night, as the trumpet sounded and the entire kingdom looked up, she gathered her light not to disperse it, but to hold it close. For the first time, she asked it a question not of duty, but of desire. What do I want? The light, which had always obediently flowed outward, shimmered and turned inward. It didn't shine on the expectant faces below. Instead, it filled her own veins, illuminating her from within, not for show, but for sight. She saw her own strength, her own untouched dreams, a core of self that was not a resource to be mined, but a soul to be lived. She did not shine that night. The festival below faltered into confused murmurs and then fearful silence. From the tower, they saw only a dark silhouette. The king and queen stormed into her chamber later, their faces masks of panic and fury. "What have you done?" the king thundered. "You have betrayed your kingdom. You have betrayed us." Ilara, feeling lighter and more solid than she ever had, simply looked at them. "You never asked for my light," she said, her voice quiet but clear. "You demanded it. That is not love. That is consumption." She was cast out, of course, stripped of her silks and called a traitor. She walked beyond the crystal gates into the gray wilderness, the very gloom they had always feared. But a strange thing happened. Without the pressure to pour her light out for others, it began to behave differently. It no longer shone in a constant, draining beam. Now it sparked. When she felt wonder at a dewdrop on a spiderweb, a tiny star would wink into existence above it. When she hummed a tune she made up herself, soft will-o-wisps would dance to the rhythm. Her light had become a response to her own life, not an extraction from it. She found the overgrown courtyard from her tower view and tended the moonflower. Under the care of her new, gentle light, the garden began to thrive. Word trickled out from servants and outcasts. They came not to demand, but to witness. They saw a girl whose light was now a language of joy, not a commodity. She shared it not out of duty, but in moments of true connection, lighting the path for a lost child, helping a seedling push through the soil. Back in the palace, the rulers tried to replace her with polished mirrors and captured fireflies, but it was a cold, dead light. The kingdom, realizing the light they had was never truly theirs, began to change. Some left to seek their own inner spark. Others learned to see beauty in the soft grays and deep shadows. Ilara never returned to the spire. She built a cottage in the wild garden, which grew into a haven of bioluminescent blooms and quiet contentment. She was never again used. She was understood, first by herself, and then by those who came in sincerity. And her light, now truly her own, burned steady and endless, for it was no longer being taken. It was being lived. It was no longer a resource, but a story. And her story began, as all the best ones do, when she stopped being a vessel and started being a person.